Welcome to Super Smoke Bros podcast. We are three high school teachers fueling our passion for backyard barbecue, one smoke at a time. We have interviews with professional pit bosses to everyday guys and gals sharing their secrets, their tips for their backyard barbecue success. All right, welcome back to the next episode of Super Smoke Bros. Once again, you have you just have Z here from Super Smoke Bros, and I'm on vacation here in Missoula, Montana, and I have had the privilege to come across another barbecue enthusiast who has taken it to the next level and has opened up his own store. You can see his website right here. All right, and he is so willingly took time out of his day. All right, because we had big storms out here in Missoula, and everyone's busy, and the community's pitching in together, and just sit down and talk to me and his journey, so we can bring it to all our fans here, and just how everyone has their own journey, and how if you are a barbecue enthusiast at all, and you walk into his store, you're like, oh, it's like those bells go off in the sky, and it's like the Mecca. It is so awesome. So I welcome Brad from Big Sky BBQ here in Missoula, Montana. Thanks, Brad, for taking time out. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Chris? Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, and so we start every episode off with, everyone has their journey in this barbecue world. And before we started this podcast, or before we hit record, I starting to get to know yours. So I'm super excited. I know our fans will definitely be excited about your journey and how you got here at Big Sky BBQ in Missoula, Montana. So Brad, take it away.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've been a fan of barbecue for quite some time. As soon as I started deciding to learn how to cook, it immediately took that path towards cooking outside and barbecue. Tried doing the catering thing for a while, realized that wasn't quite where I wanted to be at, and rather here we are trying to teach people how to cook at home and help supply them with everything they need to become that pit master they were the whole time. Just haven't realized it yet.
Oh, I love that, because that's our goal of this podcast, is just get everyone's story out there. Everyday people that, as like a novice like me, you look at you, I'm like, no, I can never be like, Brad, I can never do that. But then you tell your story and your struggles and your gains and successes, and you're like, we can be there. I can do that. So I really love how you bring that. And when you walk into your store, I mean, you have everything you see online. All right. First thing I looked to my left, I saw the charcoal. You got the Jealous Devil. You have the Fogo. You have everything. Royal Oak. You have everything that we see online. The average person, you have it here. But what's awesome is your knowledge about it to help everyone become that better pit master.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So, you kind of, how long have you been here in Missoula now?
So I've been living in Missoula about 2 years now. The store opened up in May, so we're still brand new, about 3 months in. So
nice,
getting things going.
Good. And so, so far, 3 months into it, you don't see tons of barbecue. You see a few barbecue places here in Missoula, all right, but you really don't. So how has the response from the community with Big Sky BBQ been for you?
It's been really good. Since we opened, our grand opening, we had 400 people show up. Awesome. The line was 150 yards long down the parking lot. Almost to the point where I was like, is it even worth free barbecue if you have to wait in that line? But people loved it. The response we've been getting back about, we were almost wondering, is this too much? Is there a reason that nobody else has done this yet? And just everybody's been this home cook. They've just been waiting for a place like this. And it immediately is like, well, why would I go to a hardware store when I can go somewhere that has 10 times the selection and the same price? I mean, if it's a little further of a drive, people are showing me they're willing to do that. So
yeah, definitely. Awesome. I think when your expertise and knowledge and come in, because with the day and age of the digital, where we can get anything we want online, but to come and have that personal connection like you have with everything, so much about it. People really, really go for that, and they're willing to go the extra way for you. So absolutely. That is so awesome. I'm jealous. I wish we had something near me in Wisconsin do that, right? But you would probably get annoyed with me, because I'd probably be in every day talking to you about different things.
We have those people, and that's okay.
Yeah,
there are regulars. Sometimes you just got to come in and talk about what you're cooking that night.
Yeah,
the whole thing is community. We want to be here. We want to be that outlet. if you just need to vent some barbecue, man,
that's
we're
awesome.
here.
Yeah.
If you want to just talk about how bad a cook went and like try and figure out what you did wrong, that's why we're here. I mean, if we're not busy with other customers, we're likely thinking about the same thing, pulling up YouTubes, watching other videos in the back time. That's how I have the employees learning and getting more passionate about it. These guys that I hired, they're in college. They knew nothing. It's been 3 months. They're already taking home grills. They're starting to cook. They did their first brisket just recently. It's a growing passion. And I really, really dig the way that people, as soon as you buy a grill, you just almost become an addict.
Yeah, you do.
Most people immediately, they create an Instagram page and they're posting pictures and I need an apron, or like, I'm going to get like my sticker or whatever. It becomes a really fun environment that it's hard to not want to be a part of that because it's so friendly. There's very little judgment. There's some, but we try and ignore those people. Yeah,
we do. Definitely, we do. And I've run a few across in my short time too as well, because I started off during COVID. My wife bought me a pellet smoker, and my passion's grown. You're right away. I'm in every day. I'm smoking something, trying something. But I like how you put how like your employees who didn't know a lot about it. We have that. We have that tool, the internet and YouTube, or you can really, if you really study and just listen, listen to these people that have done it. It's amazing how your knowledge can grow. And when people you reach out to someone, they get back to you. It's a really cool and community that is out there that I didn't know a lot about, but now I'm ingrained now. That's why I'm talking to you for sure. So you kind of mentioned this, Brad, but I want to see if you have maybe anything else to add to it. It's like I just walked in the store. I was taking a picture of it outside, and you have that offset smoker with plants growing out of it. You just got a really cool vibe here at Big Sky BBQ. And so when you walk in, you kind of mentioned a few things, but what do you want that customer to experience as soon as they walk through those doors?
This is the place. This is barbecue heaven. This is the store they've been waiting on. This is the store that their wife is going to hate. I mean, it really is. That rub wall is right there when you walk in, because it's supposed to be like, oh, wow. And then I tell them turn around, and they realize there's another one right behind them. It's just that feeling. I remember the first time, back in Arizona, we had quite a bit more options. There were multiple stores like this. The first time I ever walked into one big and impressive like this, I was just like, I think I found my new favorite place. That was when I was like 19 years old, and if it can capture you when you're young-minded like that, I can only imagine where these guys who have been into it but never knew the outlet that they could have to learn so much more. Because some people aren't on Instagram or Facebook regularly where they're seeing 80 recipes a day and just getting all these ideas. Like, they need a place to come in and talk and hear ideas. They follow our Instagram, and we're kind of exposing that when normally their feed didn't show any of that because they just hadn't figured it out yet. But
that's how you definitely get that. I was, like I said, as soon as I looked to my left when I walked in, I saw the charcoal, and I've been really experimenting with different charcoals, so automatically I went right there. And then I look at your rub wall, I'm like, oh yeah, I need this before I leave here today. So you have, you mastered that. What your goal is when you walk in, and I'm a maybe an exception because I'm such an enthusiast, but you have that because you look, you say, oh, there's a rec tech right there. Right away, boom, there's a rec tech. I've never seen one in person before. And you have all those different things, different types of grills and smokers, and it's a really, really cool experience. So you definitely, your vision, it's there, man. You hit it on the head, brother. You really did.
Well, even like you were talking about with the offset out front that we turned into a flower garden. Found that free on Facebook Marketplace. It was rusted out on the bottom. But Missoula is a big community where like upcycling, keeping the state clean is a big thing. I cannot tell you how much feedback I've gotten where somebody's like, I'm going to do this now. Like we have an old grill that like we were just going to throw away, but like there's just cool ideas you could do. And the rules for this building at least said I could have a planter outside. So we found a way to kind of say we do barbecue and we have a planter.
That's I love it. Like I took a picture. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I got to show my wife Jessica this. I may get nixed, but I may not. So it's a pretty cool idea. You know, she supports she's the one that started my feel or passion for this barbecue. So
well, it looked a lot better before the storm.
Yeah,
we had 85-mile-an-hour wind dripping through here. So
yeah, we came in on Saturday morning. I mean, I'm sorry, not Saturday, Wednesday morning, and then
so
we got to our Airbnb and stuff, and then putting the girls to bed, and those winds were like, oh my! I was watching outside. The trees are like 90-degree angles, and it was, but how the community in Missoula is a special community. How it really comes together, and everyone helping each other out, and really saw some really great things happen. And being from the Midwest, that's kind of what we're known for too, is coming together. But I think it, in Missoula was just like that. It was so cool. You know,
I mean, you saw my truck beds full of wood.
Yeah.
We had to close the store down because no power, but we went out and just started helping with the cleanup. So.
Yeah, we were cleaning up at my brother's shop. There's trees, or my brother's studio. There's trees down. Went and started cleaning up, helping everyone out. That's what it does. So we're going to kind of shift a little bit to your barbecue experience, because you have been in the world of barbecue. You had your own successful catering business. And you're still talking about this. You're telling me about before we got on air here about your giant pellet smoker, 2 hoppers and things like that. So I'm just going to start off, and I know I've been getting a lot of feedback from our podcast, and this is like one of the favorite parts of the podcast, is just everyone likes to, what's your go-to things, and what, and learn from what you have experienced. So what is your go-to smoker when you're in that backyard?
So if we're specifically talking a smoker, I would have to say it's like a tall refrigerator looking thing. It's a Humphreys. It's a reverse flow charcoal cabinet, essentially. It just holds perfect temps. The flavor on it is spectacular, and it's still not the hassle that the offset is. I can do other things. I can go run to the store and get some more beer. Not have to worry about the fire so much. But if I'm being honest, I rarely even use the smokers anymore. I've been all over the Tagwood, which is just a big live fire Argentinian style grill, Santa Maria on one side, Bracero in the middle, and then the clamp grill for roasting meats. And I mean, I used to be a big brisket guy. Had Vacío not even that long ago for the first time, and was like, there's just so many other meats that I didn't even know existed, that we roasted it for 5 hours over a live flame. And the tenderness, the juiciness, you would think you cooked it in, the offset for 10 hours, 12 hours, wrapped it, rested it, and we didn't even rest it at all. And it's just amazing what that live fire can do. And I have a lot to learn with live fire still. That's definitely new to me, but it's becoming my new passion for sure.
That's it's so funny you said that, Brad, because a couple episodes ago we interviewed the Seattle butcher's wife, Misty, and she's phenomenal. What a great lady. And that's what her same thing. This is where she is, the live fire. And so I've been like looking at brios and things like that, just really like, oh, now I'm talking to these people like you yourself. I'm like, ooh, I'm interested now, because I love my brisket, and it's like, the king of meats, but I'm interested in this live fire because I know it's such a different technique and method and all those things, but the flavors are phenomenal. So awesome. Oh, so cool.
It's fun, but for me at least, what it makes it really fun is the challenge. So by having something that I don't just get perfect every time, like I've had some burns because it really is a managing thing. I've had some times where dinner was 4 or 5 hours late because I just wasn't managing the right temp. You don't have thermometers and all this. I mean, you can try, but like you got to feel it. You got to almost speak to the fire. And being able to accomplish it and know how much harder it was, you feel a lot more proud of yourself, where it's almost gotten to the point where somebody cooks in a fantastic brisket. You try it, that's great brisket. I had great brisket. I cook great brisket. My neighbor cooks great brisket. You can have not so great brisket, but at the end of the day, it starts to become a very similar thing. And with live fire, there's a lot of unique things you can do. Been finding out about a lot of these Argentine, South American cuts of meat that are just not common in the U.S. and they're amazing. So just that joy and having somebody come over, try something they don't normally eat, that you nailed in a way that was not easy, you kind of just proclaimed yourself as that neighborhood
Yeah.
barbecue king without having to say anything.
Yeah, so. I love that. That's a great way to put it, Brad. Really great way, and I love it. And you're right. It's just there's a lot of different cuts that we don't usually typically have in the United States. And I've been following some of these Argentinian barbecuers on Instagram and learning about these. I'm like, ooh, I gotta try that. How am I gonna get that? And things like that. Yeah, so that absolutely. Is a great response. And it's once you get a master of those other different cuts of meat, like you said, brisket, it's good to put yourself out there, and then you fail again and you learn, like you said, all those things. Because I think anybody that's ever barbecued, you've burned some meat up before in your life. Yeah, I have too.
Absolutely.
It's a pretty expensive cuts too.
Yeah. But it's how it goes.
So going on, what is your favorite cut of meat to throw on that smoker or barbecue or open fire?
Well, I mean, as much as I just said, brisket's brisket. Yeah. It's hard to not, like, pretty much I'm always up for brisket. But for recently what I've been experimenting with, FSCO cut, I think that's kind of crowned my new favorite. It's a combination of skirt, bavette, and flank. It's just kind of the flat meat on the side. It has a briskety taste in parts of it. It has a steak taste. The way that outer membrane almost crunches up and reacts like as if it had skin to it. It's just a very unique taste. And having had a little bit of everything, you get a little tired of things sometimes, and that's something I don't have very often. And somebody said, hey, I've got one of those. I'm dropping what I'm doing. I'm on my way.
Yeah, you're on your way. Well, I have to try one. I'll talk to my local butcher, see if they can do something for me or things like that. That looks awesome. Those are the things I want to try. That's those types of cuts. And that's why I asked. Oh, that's awesome. So do you have a favorite go-to rub that you always use, or do you create your own, or or store-bought?
A lot of times I'll just stick to just classic salt, pepper, maybe sometimes an SPG, salt, pepper, and garlic.
Yeah.
With pork, I definitely do a rub. When I was doing backyard level KCBS stuff, me and my wife came out with a pork rub. I say me and my wife. It was mostly her.
Yeah.
But I gotta take some credit.
Yeah.
I tried it. I said I liked it.
Yeah.
And it did really well for us. And between that rub and injection, that's one thing I'm really proud of. But yeah, I mean, brisket, whatever I'm doing, I mean, it's almost always just the basic salt, pepper, maybe some garlic. But I'm not big on sugars or a lot of those added things. Like I'll sometimes do spices on them.
Yeah.
But I like to keep it simple and just enjoy the flavor of the meat.
Yeah, that's something I'm learning too a lot is just keep it simple. I'm a salt, pepper, garlic, and most of my stuff. And especially my daughters like a little more sweeter stuff on pork, so I put the sweeter stuff on pork for them and things like that. But the simpler the better, and the attention to detail while you're smoking, you get so much flavor with that.
Absolutely.
All right, so moving on. So, are you a sauce guy at all? Or if you are a sauce guy, do you have your go-to sauce that you like to go to?
I'm not a sauce guy.
Yeah.
I definitely I don't serve meat with sauce. If you want some, maybe there's some in the fridge.
Yeah.
But I have had some that I've been pretty impressed by. And as cliche as it might sound, the Cosmos Q OPX1, probably still to this day one of the best sauces I've tried. I'm not huge on the vinegar sauces. I know there are a lot of great ones out there that use that base, and anytime I taste them, I'm just like, not quite for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather just the juices from the meat.
I'm exactly the same way. And it's funny, when I first started, I had a lot of sauce, and then now my wife and my daughters, they like sauce, so I never put it on, or I'll if I'm doing ribs, I'll do one rack with the sauce for them, but I make sure I have at least one that has nothing, because I just like that flavor of the meat and the juice, like you said, the juices.
It's like when you're younger and you first start eating steaks, you always got to have that A1.
Yeah.
And then you hit an age where you're like, what am I doing? And you just stop. So.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Steaks. My daughter, she's 9 and she loves steaks, and no sauce. Just she wants that fat from the ribeye.
Teaching her right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. She's you see a lot on the Instagram page with me and stuff like that. She's all in. So she wanted to come to this. And I said no, and things. So she's feeling her passion with me, I guess. So, a lot of times you have sauces and things like that. Is there a certain do you cook any sides on when you barbecue? Or are you making a feast for your family? Is there any type of sides that you like? Oh, I got to make this side to go with it.
I mean, I eat a disgusting amount of corn.
That's all right, man.
Grilled corn is probably my favorite side. Whether it's off the cob, just kind of a lotte style, or just on the cob, just drenched in butter. Corn is a go-to. Jalapeno poppers. When I'm doing a brisket, I love having baked beans. Just sit under there and catch all that drippings. Yep. I'm not a big salad guy, but I usually have coleslaw as an option. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, usually it's just a couple sides, maybe potatoes or macaroni. Yeah. Both of which I like throwing in this pellet smoker. It just makes it that much better. But there's definitely been times where we've been barbecuing all day and the pig is done and it's like, oh, I didn't even think about anything but that pig. So I hope everybody's hungry for some meat.
No, you get that sometimes. I think it's for the, my daughters, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get this side ready, and stuff like that. But sometimes you get so, we did a big 6-foot offset smoker up in my cabin in Upper Michigan, and we had 3 briskets on there, and I forgot to make you just get too ingrained into it,
Well, and the problem is, there's one thing that goes hand in hand with barbecuing all day, it's drinking. And when that happens, I start to forget things. I
think we all do. Let's see. What is your go-to temperature? If you're not open fire pit or open fire cooking, and you fire up your offset or you fire up your cabinet smoker, what's your go-to temp that you like to?
225, pretty much always. I mean, if I'm doing chicken wings, I'll try and do them hotter. Sometimes even up to 350 if I can get the pit to that. The offset is kind of hard to get that hot, but with the charcoal grill or the pellet smoker, you can. I think that helps with the skin, but pretty much anything else as low as it'll go. Whether it's a pellet smoker or offset or whatever. And sometimes if you're just reverse searing like a tri-tip, I mean, if that pellet smoker can go down to 170, I'll turn it down that low just to try and get as much smoke in the meat before I'm hitting that temperature right before.
Oh, that makes sense. I think that's a really good tip.
If I am doing a reverse sear, I'll also try and do cold meat into the smoker as low as it'll go, so that again it just has as much time sitting there trying to get penetrated with some of that smoke flavor.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So the last couple questions here are usually from our fans, say the favorite ones here. Do you have a go-to radio station, streaming station, playlist, types of artists that you like to listen to when that pit is fired up?
Yes and no. So I'm I'm open to just about every kind of music. I go through a lot of phases. So one week I might be in my teenage years where I'm listening to 90s alternative. One week it might be the new modern Morgan Wallen type country. Another week it might be, classic rock. Some weeks it's death metal. So it's just kind of my mood, what I'm feeling, but it's pretty much always just good loud music, something that sets the vibe for sure.
Definitely. And I'm the same way. It depends on the mood. I like to stream there's country barbecue station, there's a classic rock barbecue station. When my daughter Zara's out there and I'm not paying attention, all of a sudden Taylor Swift's on there, and so just kind of whatever happens, it's just whatever mood you're in. So
there's one I think we were just listening to a couple weeks ago when we had the hog cook. I think it was just called the Memorial Weekend playlist, and it was on Spotify, and it definitely was a perfect vibe. Awesome. A lot of America-based country songs.
I love those, especially during those times. Definitely. And our last one, favorite drink in hand while you barbecue. Could be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. It's your choice.
It's always alcoholic. That's got to be bourbon, hands down. I mean, I try and drink beer to not get carried away, but bourbon is by far my drink of choice.
Nice, awesome. I find that's a lot. In a lot of interviews, that's really fine. So, Brad, we're going to kind of wrap up here our episode today. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the podcast, or want to talk about Big Sky BBQ Supply at all, or?
I mean, man, if you're in this area, get your butt down here and come check it out. We've just got more than we could even begin to name off. and even things that aren't in the store we carry. We just ran out of room. I mean, there's just so many things out there.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's been great to meet you, have you down here, have you see the store, and be a part of this podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you come in here, and I'm sure if you have questions and anything, you can get anything you need to online. As you can see, if you're watching it on YouTube or even Spotify, the video part, you can see the great website Big Sky BBQ has. So go to that website, you can order things. I'm sure you could, email Brad if you have any questions, give a call, to his experts here, and with anything, great people. And the barbecue world always has great people, and if you happen to be in Missoula, Montana, I'm telling you, the pictures don't do it justice when you walk into this place. It is phenomenal. And Brad, I can't thank taking time out. I've been here since Wednesday. It's currently Monday right now, and I have driven by every day, and I'm like, I just can't wait. And so let's take your time. So I know you're busy, and I know you've been helping with cleanup here in Missoula, and just to help a teacher like me out, but more importantly, our fans to hear your story. And if they have that passion, that niche that they want, that you're a great example. You can do it, brother. Yeah. You can do it. Go for it. And you can have like I said, it was like walking into heaven here. It's like the angels were singing as I walked through.
Yeah.
And they can have this too as well. So, Brad, I thank you so much. Fans, check out his site. You see it right here, BigSkyBBQSupply.com. Email questions, order your stuff. You have questions about routes.
We ship nationwide too. So.
And just like, hey, questions, ask him, and then order the stuff from the site, and he'll ship it to your house. It won't take that long. So, and I know I'll be supporting you, my good man. And I look forward to growing this relationship, especially next time I'm out here. But we always end our podcast, Brad, with smoke on. If you wouldn't mind telling our fans to keep on smoking on.
Hey, keep on smoking on, guys. It's been great.